Alright, so welcome to this video on how you're going to differentiate your automations and systems from pretty much everybody else in the space. So now the issue has become that pretty much everybody is selling the exact same automations now. So you can think things like automation reminders, the lead captures, CRM setups. But the issue is that if you're all selling the same product, then all you can do is compete on price. Now, the good thing for us is that clients do not buy automations. They buy solutions that they feel are built for them. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can stand out to differentiate yourself from everybody else in this space and have that competitive edge and that advantage. So basically, to set the tone of exactly what this is all about, basically what's happening right now in the market is that everyone is selling the same GoHighLevel snapshots, the same workflows inside make.com or N8N. They're all pretty generic and they're all very set it and forget it type automations. Everyone's looking for that quick fix where it's like a plug and play solution. They don't have to do a lot of work and they think that they can get to 10, 15, 20, 30K a month just doing that. Maybe that was true a year ago, a year and a half ago when all of this stuff was more new. Now it's pretty mainstream. So everybody has access to the same stuff here, which means that it becomes more competitive. So you have to adapt accordingly. So the issue is now that when people are selling this stuff, and the issue with selling templates is that there's no strategy. There's no understanding of their business model. There's no outcome thinking. It's simply just plug and play, and you're selling the automation. Now, the issue that you're going to find is one, that clients will churn because they don't feel like this was custom built for them. They're going to feel that when you're actually providing them with that solution. And what leads that to happen is that they don't value the work. So if you're especially underpricing your work and you're charging very cheap for a quick plug and play solution that you can implement and set up within 24 to 48 hours, they're not going to value that because they know that there wasn't a lot of effort and work that went in behind the scene. So it's something that they aren't that attached to, they're not that invested to, so they can easily turn it off without feeling too bad about it. There's no emotional investment on their side. And of course, because you're just competing on price, your price is going to have to stay low because anybody else with that same solution can just come and undercut you. So that's the issue that we're dealing with right now. So the way to overcome this is to see what clients actually want. So they don't want just workflows. No one is buying a CRM follow-up system. They're buying it to solve a pain point for a particular outcome. So what does it do? It allows them to talk to their leads faster. It allows them to convert more deals into sales, more revenue through the door. Their salespeople are happier. There's more retention on their sales staff. So those are outcomes that they're purchasing from you. The workflow is just a means to achieve that outcome. So never sell the actual workflow. And again, they're looking for a competitive advantage. How will this help me against my competition? So if they are getting leads that are following up with quicker, that leads to more conversions. They're now responding to leads faster than their competition, so they're closing more deals. They're increasing their market share of whatever they're competing in. So we want them to have a competitive advantage, and we want to make sure the automation helps them achieve that. If it's some random ass automation that's not getting them any closer to more market share or more revenue or their goal, then they're not going to care about it. And that goes into this point where it's like we want automations to generate revenue. We don't want to just save them time. That's not strong enough to actually care. A lot of these people just want to make more money, either whether through cost savings or from actually generating more revenue. Time is a very intangible thing where it's very hard for them to quantify that in terms of ROI. Now, in terms of these systems, you want them to integrate in a way that they already do the business. So you don't want to propose something that overhauls their entire system, causing them to migrate over to something else, to retrain their staff. Their business has to go on halt while you're doing this migration. You want to seamlessly integrate into what they're already doing and make it as frictionless as possible. That's what they want. If you're proposing something that's like a $50,000 build out that's going to take a couple months to roll out and implement, that's not exciting to them. That just sounds like a massive headache that they don't even know if it's going to work or not. So you want it to make it as frictionless and as seamless as possible, and that's your job, to find out what they're currently doing and how this can fit into that. Now, in terms of ways to differentiate yourself, so this is obviously the core of the video. Here are 5 ways that you can do that to basically differentiate yourself from the sea of people who are doing the exact same thing. Obviously, you want to stand out, and these are ways that you can do it. So one is with contextual automation. So of course, you can't just sell them. You can't sell the same plug and play automation to a dentist, to a roofer, to a barber, to an online Instagram coach. There has to be context around it. So you need to understand their business model, what kind of leads they're dealing with, what outcomes they want. So for example, if you're selling to a gym, you want to reactivate old members based on their class history and goal tracking. So that's a very specific outcome compared to a dentist. Dentists don't have members, they don't have class history, they don't have goal tracking. So if you can tailor what you're providing based on their outcome, then that's going to matter a lot more. At least, at the very least, speak their language. So you're using terms that are relevant to their industry. And if you don't know how to do that, then just go to ChatGPT and say, tell me everything about a gym, what kind of pain points they might be dealing with, how to speak their language, tell me, keywords and terms for me to use. You can learn this very easily. Now, this is a very important one, but strategic naming and framing can be very important. So a lot of people can sell the exact same thing, and online a lot of people do, but the way that they package it, the way that they market it and brand it is just different. So if you can come up with a cool or unique or interesting way to package what you're selling, even if it's the same thing as everybody else, then you have an advantage there. So for example, I have a school community, and 99% of people have a school community, but I call mine an incubator. And it has like a whole different story and background and outcome compared to everyone else who just has a school community. I'd never call it a community. That's not what it is for me. It's an incubator for entrepreneurs. So if you can use semantics and mind tricks to change the way that people perceive things, then you have an advantage. I'll give you an example. So like instead of saying you have a lead follow-up automation, you can call it my Fast 5 touchpoint system, something that's like trademarked, like this is yours. It's proprietary. Nobody else has this. This is your system. On the back end, it could be the same thing that everybody else is using, but on the front end, this is your system. It could be something like the speed to lead engine, for example. You can add perceived value through branded frameworks. And as an example of this working really well in practice, someone or some type of people that do this really well is authors of sales books. So I'll give you some examples here, but there's so many sales books that exist. A lot of them say pretty much the same stuff, but the author was able to build their own package and branding around it to sell their own system. It's crazy. So for example, you have spin selling, you have the Sandler sales methodology, you have the Challenger sales methodology, the Gap selling methodology, the Medic, the Snap selling, like there's spin, Snap, Challenger, this, that. There's so many different sales methodologies that have just been packaged into a different way. And they've been able to like get cult-like followings. Like the people who follow Snap are like super all in on Snap. They would never consider any of the other ones. The spin selling guys are like super like focused on spin selling. Even though a lot of it, there's so much overlap between them, the marketing makes them feel like it's something unique to them specifically. And all of these have sold, hundreds of millions of, dollars of revenue and copies and stuff. So these do extremely well. But it just highlights the point that branded frameworks is the way to go with automations. If you can come up with a cool proprietary sounding system, then it can be really advantageous. Next is to bundle it with outcomes. So like I mentioned, you don't want to just sell the automation, but you want to, attach a lot more to it. Like what are they getting out of this? And you can also value stack other things on top of it. So it's not just the automation, but on top of that, you can provide strategy calls, ad templates, onboarding guides, all these bonuses and extras that other people won't have. That can differentiate your offer as well. So for example, if you sign up to my SaaS software that I have, you get a lot of my bonuses, pre-built automations, but you also get like my branding package, you get my case studies, you get my sales scripts, things like that, right? So I provide you with bundles and bonuses to make it a sweeter deal for you. So that's something that you can do as well. You're not just providing a tech feature, but it's like a whole system with other features incorporated into it. Then you can also incorporate like proprietary data, things that are unique to you as well. So for example, if you're building something like AI related, you can say, you're providing your proprietary AI system because the prompt behind it is something that nobody else can copy. So essentially the prompt that you made is proprietary to you, and that's what your differentiating feature is, right? So if you've got a super special prompt, then you can market that and say, no one prompts like me. If someone else wanted to build you this bot, it wouldn't be as good because they don't have my backend that I built for you. So you can basically come up with some branding for the proprietary side of it, and prompting is a good way to do it because that's under the hood. Nobody can see exactly what you've built, and that's like your edge that you have. And then 5, you can also include like client-facing things. So you don't want to just provide the automation, but you want to make sure that they're very clear on what the results are that they're getting. And a good way to do that is through dashboards and reports. So if you can give them visibility, through Airtable or Notion or things like that, but this is the automation that I built for you, but these are the results that it's getting. These are the number of conversations it's had, the appointments that it's booked, the the number of escalations that voice AI has done, for example, number of SMSs sent, hours saved for you. So if you can quantify the ROI that you're getting, then that's going to differentiate you, because other people are just getting, offering results, but you're also offering insights and visibility and data. Data is actionable. They can, act on data. They can make decisions with it. So this is another aspect that you can offer and add to your pricing. It also helps you justify your value, especially on the retainer side. So if you're maintaining and providing a dashboard on a real-time or monthly or bi-weekly basis, then this is part of your value stack that you can use. So these are the 5 ways to differentiate yourself. Highly recommend that you do that. And the way you can do that is just look at your current offer today, audit your current workflows and say, is there anything special about this? Am I just using somebody else's template? And if you are, that's fine. But then look into these different features about how can I rebrand it and repackage it in a unique way? What other offers can I bundle with it? Is there anything proprietary about it? Can I add on any dashboards or visibility? And, am I selling it in the right context? Is it packaged in the correct way? So you can add all of those things there. And then figure out what is your best automation. Turn that into your flagship system. Create a whole product and brand and name around it. Exactly what you're going to do with it. Create a demo video about the outcomes and why people should purchase this. All of this should be incorporated into your systems. Now, if you do want to get started with automation, like I mentioned, I do have a school community which you can join that teaches you the methodologies of everything that I've just shown you here. It's called the Automation Incubator. It's completely free. We have about 33,000 people in there, so it's one of the biggest and fastest growing communities on school.com. Inside of that, you can find my classroom. So here, I teach you everything about the basics of automation, how to craft your offer, how to get your first client, what to sell, especially in the sales and marketing course. You get a lot of my pre-made templates, bonuses, things like that. So everything you want to learn is directly inside there. And if you want one-on-one access to me, you can always just shoot me a message directly inside school with whatever you need. So if you want access to that, you can join with the link in the description. But if you have any questions, I look forward to talking with you.